Standard Bank has an Africa-wide business. It's 20% held by China's ICBC.
Exactly, the same kind of format. We know the big blue logo. We know its heritage in this market. It's been around since right at the beginning in the Johannesburg market, growing and being the market leader in lots of ways.
Market cap 236.9 billion rand, a PE of 10.3, cheaper than First Rand, and a dividend yield here of 4.9%. Standard Bank, has it reorganized itself, divested from some of those capital misallocation decisions internationally?
You know what I think about Standard Bank? What comes to mind is an old leather couch with a very old wood, and with a cigar, somebody with a cigar next to it, and I can smell it. I can smell that that for me is nice.
Apologies to Sim Shabalala and Ben Kruger from the outset on this conversation.
I think that it is such an old bank. It hasn't been attractive to the younger generation, and that's why I feel they're struggling. The technology that they use, the apps that they use they're so foreign to young people that it's very difficult for them to tap into that market, and that's why they're losing their clients to the likes of FNB and the likes of Capitec as well. The younger guys who want to do things much easier. The regulation, the fact that you still have to go into branches to do a number of things before you can actually get service is really, really not good. But on the other hand, they are a good, strong brand. They have done really well, especially on the African continent. So if you're looking for value, absolutely. I mean, there is a lot of place for value there. But unfortunately, I still have that oak smell of old leather that I just smell every time I see.
We're going to leave your description right there. Paul, give me your thoughts on Standard Bank.
Well,
and let's not talk about old leather.
It's fair. I mean, the technology challenges have been quite significant there. They've done significant shutdowns over multiple weekends in recent months, which tells you that they're doing big system integration.
Are you
in
a
the
business
background.
client of Standard Bank?
Personal banking client of Standard Banks. Although I must say, I'm looking forward to Discovery Bank's launch, because we're big shareholders in Discovery, and I think that offering, which is going to be linked to Vitality, could be great, because again, it's going to be built from the ground up.
Can we dip into the share price graph? There we go.
So it fell more precipitously at the end of 2015 when everybody got worried about the funding risk. Because remember, South African banks are extremely sensitive to a sovereign debt downgrade, because it will raise their cost of capital and squeeze their margins. The fact that the share prices have been rising in 2016 probably tells you that people are a little bit less panicky than they were back then.
Well, you'll be smiling all the way to the bank if you bought it in that dramatic dip.
Yes, that's true. And also, remember last year we saw some write-downs related to some aluminium warehousing trading challenges in China. We saw necessary adjustments given their wind out of their London-based business. And we also saw like a fraud situation with that credit card thing that happened in Japan. So all of those things, perhaps people are saying, well, this year's got to be better.
Woes on the cards, hot or not, on Standard Bank.
I'm sorry, I can't. I'm sorry. I'm
It's okay.
I'm just going to turn blue like ice.
Don't be too sorry. It's all right to go not hot.
Okay.
Paul, are you hot or not?
Yeah, I'm going to slip not hot as well. I think the valuation is low, but I think the mood is a bit somber. And I'm not sure that the earnings turnaround with Standard Bank is all that imminent.
This comes from their client. I just want to say.
Can I ask you something? What about the dual CEO element? Does that have any bearing on the organization? Is it a positive or a negative? I battle to get my head around it.
I don't know. Maybe it was an empowerment deal.
I think it's positive. I mean, Ben Kruger is a very established banker with a small ego, which is a great thing. That's quite rare. And then Sim Shabalala is fantastic. I've seen him speak a number of times. He's extremely competent and talented.
But why don't you have one in operations and
why don't you have a CEO and a deputy CEO? You know, Sasol's now adopted the same strategy of a dual
vice president. You could do that.
Sasol now with a dual CEO strategy. There's Bongani Mwabisa and Stephen Cornell. Anyway.
I think a single man is better, or a woman.
Well, you don't often have two captains of the cricket team or two captains of the rugby team, although we might need one in the rugby space at the moment. Sorry about that.